What is going on, YouTube? It's your boy Nevin the Barber, and in today's YouTube tutorial we're going to be going over a high taper with the number 6 guard on top. So as you guys can see, I'm going to go ahead and get right into this tutorial with the number 6 guard, and I'm just going to make sure that I cut all the hair on top, making sure that it's all even before we get into the high taper. So now that we have that done, I'm going to go ahead and take my gamma hitters, and we're going to carve in this first bald line, ensuring that we take out all of the C cup. So I'm starting it right by his ear, and I took it all the way up to his point of reference, which is, like I said, basically just taking out all that C cup area. That way it'll all be blended out by the time we finish the high taper. Now I'm just getting it all the way down to the skin with the Gamma Uno shaver. And for the next step in this taper, I went ahead and took my Gamma Rogue clippers with the lever all the way open to carve in my next guideline. And I went ahead and took this up about 1 inch. And it's very important that you guys make it nice, even to the same length before you move on to the next step. Now that I have that complete, I'm going to go ahead and put in my next guideline with the 1.5 guard all the way closed. And again, we are keeping it symmetrical just as we did before, going up about another inch. And I'm following this guideline with some clipper over comb, leaving the guard on just to blend into the bulk and the crown area of my client's head. And this is a very easy step that skips the number 3 and the 2 guard. Clipper over comb is a little bit more of an advanced technique, but once you guys get the hang of it, it's a very easy method, like I said, to blend into the bulk. And now I'm going to go ahead and use my half guard all the way open to blend in the 0.5 into the 1.5. This is basically just blending the middle of our fade into the bulk area. And I really like to do this technique because the majority of the fade is going to happen right here between the 0.5 and the 1.5. So always be patient with this guard right here. You guys want to be sure that you take your time and ensure that you're getting all those details that you can. Personally, as you guys can see, I like to use the clipper at an angle. I like to do what's called corner cutting, just because you can kind of disperse out the dark areas a little bit easier with the clipper rather than using the full blade. And little by little, you guys can see that that blend is starting to come together. And now we just have to come back with the lever all the way closed to blend out our last guideline. But before we do that, I'm going to go ahead and take my razor just to clean up the sides of my client's edge up. And I do like to do this just so I don't take the blend too high when removing that last guideline. So like I said, this is no guard with the lever all the way closed. This is now cutting the hair down to a 00. And I do have my clippers 0 gapped. So as you guys can see, these clippers were able to remove that last guideline very easily. And if you guys are interested in purchasing these clippers right here, feel free to use my code NEVIN10 on the Gamma website for a discount. These are very good clippers and I would highly recommend them. So now that we have the left side of my client's taper complete, we're going to go ahead and do the same exact steps on the right side. You guys already know we're going to start off by carving in our first bald line with the Gamma trimmers. Again, these trimmers right here are 0 gapped as well, so I was able to carve in that line very easy and remove all the bulk pretty effortlessly. And we're going to go ahead and follow up that guideline with the Gamma Uno shaver just to get it down to the skin. And now we're going to go ahead and carve in our next guideline with no guard, lever all the way open on our Gamma Rogue clippers. And once we have that guideline set, we'll go ahead and follow it with the 1.5 guard all the way closed. So we're now cutting the hair down to a 1.5 guideline length. And again, I'm just following that guideline we created with some clipper over comb just to blend into the bulk and the crown area. So now we just have to remove 2 more guidelines. So I'm going to start off with the first one with the half guard all the way open. And you guys just want to corner cut, and like I said, just flick out any last dark areas that you guys see. And it's very important that you guys are shortening your cutting stroke as you guys are closing the lever. And just be patient with it. Some clients' hair texture may be, different than others. And always be sure to pay attention to the growth pattern as well, just because some clients may have different hair growing in different directions. So lastly, I just have to remove my last guideline. So I'm going to do that using my clippers all the way closed, and little by little I'll just start opening that lever. And this technique right here that I'm using is very effective. Like I said, this is more of an advanced technique, but if you guys want to give it a shot and let me know how it works for you, feel free to give it a go. This is personally my favorite fading technique to use right now. So again, like I said, if you guys want to give it a shot, go ahead and try it out and let me know how it works. So now I'm just gonna go ahead and clean up my client's edge up. And it's super easy because since we already cleaned up the box and the sides with the razor, we just have to come back with our trimmers and clean up that front line. And again, you guys can see I'm just keeping this nice and natural. I'm not pushing his line back. I'm just knocking off all the extra flyaways. Now that I have his lineup complete, I went ahead and leaned him back so I could clean up all those baby hairs with the razor. And every time I do a razor lineup, I always like to lean my client back. That way I can get that razor blade up against the grain of the hair. This does give the hairline a much sharper look. And again, on the box, making sure that I stretch the skin before I go in with the razor. So now that we have the hairline and the sides tapered out, now we can just taper out the back and our blend will be complete. So as always, I'll go ahead and start off this guideline with my gamma hitters. And you guys want to make sure you create a nice clean line when doing this, just because this first guideline is going to determine how the rest of your blend comes out. As far as, the line being straight, you don't want it to be crooked. So make sure you get a nice, clean, consistent straight line. And I went ahead and followed it up with the Gamma Uno shaver, just making sure that I got all those stubble down to the skin before we get into the taper. So now I'm going to go ahead and start my taper with the lever all the way open on my Gamma Rogue clippers, taking this first guideline up about 1 inch. And as always, we're going to follow it up with the 1.5 guard all the way closed. So we got our half guideline, and now we're creating a 1.5 guideline. And now we're blending that 1.5 guideline into the bulk while doing clipper over comb. And you guys can see little by little, each guideline just kind of disperses away. So now I'm going to attack that second guideline with my half guard all the way open. So we're now cutting the hair down to a short number 1 guard length. And little by little, you guys could see that taper is starting to come together. We'll just have to come back and erase that initial guideline we created with the trimmers. So now I went ahead and took my Gamma clippers with the lever all the way closed. And we're just going to start with the left side, blending out that guideline, showing you guys how easy it is to blend it out, going through these few simple steps. And if you guys have learned anything in this tutorial so far, please be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I do appreciate any feedback, so if you guys are looking to see any new tutorials, just drop them in the comments and I'll get them out for you guys. So as you guys can see, that taper came together very nice and smooth in the back with just those few simple steps that we did. You guys don't have to overcomplicate it. Just get a nice, easy, consistent method that works for you and stick to it. And I promise you guys, if you continue to get better at it, your fades will start to come out cleaner in no time. And just going over all those last baby hairs behind my client's ear and his nape area. And it's very important that you guys do this and knock off all those last flyaways before you let your client leave your chair, just so you can give them that picture perfect look and increase your chances of retainment. And just cleaning up the beard underneath the neck with my gamma trimmers. You guys can see I was able to carve in a nice clean line without causing no irritation to my client's skin. And one more time, just going over my taper with my gamma ergos, or I'm sorry, my gamma rogue clippers with the one guard open. And one more time with the gamma hitters. I always like to do this at the end of my haircuts, just ensuring I knocked off any last flyaways that I didn't get at the beginning. And just to finish up this taper, I'm going to go ahead and do some shear over comb with my NevinTheBarber shears. And I'm rolling my comb out right off of the scalp and the parietal ridge area as I'm cutting the hair, as you guys can see. And it's important that you guys do this just so you don't create any gashes in the top of the blend. But that is about it for today's high taper tutorial with the number 6 guard on top. If you guys learned anything in this tutorial, again, please be sure to smash that like button, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and drop a comment letting me know what you guys want to see next. But it's been your boy Nevin the Barber. I appreciate you guys for tuning in, and I'm out. I'll see you guys in the next one.